also,
not even sure which graphic you're
Yeah, I
talking
don't know.
about.
I don't know about right now.
the Yang Gang.
Oh, okay.
Come on, man.
I have a Yang story. And I
We
need to
have
know.
graphic. There we go. Yang story. All right. Andrew Yang is critical of Senator Elizabeth Warren. Daniel, what's going on? Paul, I have to yell at you after the show.
I had a lot to do today.
Okay, let's get the camera on me. And
Alright.
thank
Too
you.
many
I'll be-
folders on this thing. Too many
We're-
folders.
you'll-
We'll figure it out. We need it.
I understand this folder method that's being used. I could. Anyway, I guess we'll just start the clip here. Andrew Yang believes that the financial impact that lobbying has on politics and government should be curtailed. Now, this is a wonderful story between Yang's campaign and Warren's campaign, as Warren continues to, over time, go from "I'm just like Bernie, carbon copy, everything's great," to "well, I'll take PAC money in the general, and I'm not against nepotism for my vice president's kid," and all these other steps that continue to unravel her image of being the progressive that'll get things done. Against the backdrop of Senator Elizabeth Warren's proposal this week to tax lobbyists as much as 75%, Yang agreed with his fellow Democratic candidate about the need to curtail money's impact through the political system. He said, however, that Warren's proposal doesn't go far enough. And of Warren's proposal, Yang tweeted that given the exponential return lobbyists receive for their money, now this goes to previous stories we've covered, how if you're a business, you put a lobbyist in place, if you're a big top 100 business, your return on investment is like 1,000 to 1, which is one of the most important, valuable investments you can make. So a 75% tax is what? How much is that actually worth if you put in $4 billion over 4 years and get $4 trillion back? What is another 2 or 3 billion worth to you? Anyway, the mild tax, and this is back to Yang, a mild tax would just make lobbying slightly more expensive, Yang tweeted. You would either need to make the tax greater than 100,000%, which goes into that 1,000 to 1, literally, or 1,000 times, because if you get 1,000 times back what you pay, if you tax them at 1,000%, then it's neutral. So there you go. Or prohibit lobbying entirely, which seems to make more sense, except, of course, the Supreme Court will be like, that's speech, that's not good, but we know you can tax, so let's do that 1,000%. Or, and this is one thing I really like about Yang's proposals, is just give people $100 annually to contribute to candidates. Companies may have billions of dollars they put in every year, but 30 million Americans with $100 each, that kind of makes that $100, $1,000 plate a little bit irrelevant.
Can I jump in real quick?
Yeah.
Can you imagine if it was like the only money that can be spent on elections are these $100 that we gave each individual citizen to like vote with their cash?
That would be great.
That's the only, no more outside spending, no PAC money, no super PAC money,
And
no
then
individual contributions that don't come from that $100 allotment that each citizen gets. It would become a publicly financed version of elections where individuals get to direct a portion of the spending to the candidate at the beginning and then try to convince other people by the end of the
All
race.
right.
Would be interesting.
I also have an updated information. He was not in for the first debate. He was
You're thinking
not
of
in
Tim
for
Ryan.
Yeah, Tim
Who
Ryan.
she took out.
Yes,
took out,
Tim Steyer was not in the first debate. He was not in the second. He was not invited. He was only invited to this fourth
He's
debate.
been making
Yeah.
sad Tim Steyer noises.
Yeah.
Okay, but back to the Yang story. So I agree with Paul. Like, wouldn't that be wonderful? That's public financing elections, because that radically shifts. I mean, people really don't understand how radically that would shift everything if every person's $100. Because then if you're a politician, you don't go to small $1,000 a plate dinners where people can eventually max out at $2,800 or $5,400. It's okay. It's like, I can get one of those people that maxes out that amount, or I can just get 54 people to give me $100. And so then it's all about, everyone campaigns like Sanders. Politicians are the way they are because they follow the rules that exist that give them the best benefit. And currently the way our system is designed, that is to do whatever corporations say, because corporations give you money, and our system is set so that the person with the most money, generally speaking, wins 90% of the time, and there's exceptions. So if you have enough volunteers, that is worth a certain amount of money. One volunteer volunteering an entire election season is worth like $25,000, which is what 10 of those plates will do. But I'm getting far too much in the weeds of how things are balanced in that sense. So
But something unilateral disarmament.
You know,
so I just want the last
go
part of this. Yang said that one of his tweets, with term limits, you would be free to vote on behalf of your constituents if you're turning back, because that's the other problem is that people stay. Like Bernie Sanders may be an exception, but people like Nancy Pelosi came in not millionaires, but are now worth $1/10 of $1 billion because of the corruption of office.
All right, so just a couple of things because we have to move on to our final story. Again, this goes back to why we said that Andrew Yang is a wild card because this forced debate. I mean, look, we're saying that Bernie Sanders is going to come in aggressive. He's ready to fight. He's ready to get his message out there. His campaign is already on full momentum. Representative Tulsi Gabbard has returned to the debate stage as well, and already the DNC is afraid that she's going to go after Kamala Harris and Senator Elizabeth Warren. But now here you have Andrew Yang, too, being critical of Senator Elizabeth Warren, and it goes back to the fact that, yes, he's a wild card, and you know what? He might also challenge Senator Elizabeth Warren on a lot of her policies. So this debate
If
is
they give
already...
if they give more than 20 seconds of time to talk, that
Yeah,
is.
Right.
yeah. So again, so this debate is already looking like it's going to be like a really fire-charged event. But again, you brought in another important point is that there could be any kind of technical error, or like the moderators could choose not to call on Gabbard or Yang or anyone else, and so that's concerning. But again, this is good to see that Andrew Yang is continuing to push forward and taking on some of the more heavyweight candidates.